much chatter about Team USA basketball-wise. Now, if you did not follow this, we talked about it a little bit in a previous episode. You might have missed it, but we have learned that USA coach Steve Kerr has taken the gloves off. He's in a boxing mindset here. He's bobbing and weaving, and he commented on his players' performance recently. Kerr reaction after a film session in preparation for the Olympic opener for Team USA, the real game. They open up with Serbia. That'll be this Sunday. So what did he say? Well, Steve Kerr harpooned the team filled with NBA players. He questioned his team's focus, attention to detail, effort, and energy against both Germany and South Sudan. So let us discuss the question. Coach Steve Kerr calling out the USA Hoops players' intensity and everything else there in recent games. Will this make a noticeable difference? That's the question. So I've got inner tube, Pat Sajak, and remote control. And we will combine all of these things together, and they'll all be part of the stew. All of that will be in the stew. Number one. All right, so to answer the question, will this make a noticeable difference? I'm agnostic on this. I'm a skeptic, right? These Olympics are about updating your resume. The only reason, there's two reasons these guys go to the Olympics. These big baller NBA players that have all the money. Reason number one is so they can sell shoes. Like I saw LeBron James already, he's just happens to coincide with him being a flag bearer at the opening ceremonies. There's a new LeBron James shoe out. I wonder if those two things are related. Things that make you go, So it's marketing, and that's the first thing. Then secondly, it's about updating your resume and adding another accolade that you won. If you've already won a gold medal, that's great, but you can add another one to your accomplishments on your LinkedIn page. But it appears the star players, and not all of them, but the vast majority of the star players for Team USA are satisfied. And they're fine with their resumes, and they believe they can still win by being what we call floaters. They just jump in the inner tube there, and they coast along and float along the lazy river. And we know from past Olympics, and as the great Heisman winner Tim Tebow waxed poetic years ago when he was playing for the Florida Gators, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that is what Steve Kerr is saying. He's like, hey, this team is not doing the hard work. They're not working hard. They're not paying attention to detail. They're not putting the effort out there, the energy. The focus is not there. That is an indictment of every single one of those players on Team USA. And Steve Kerr, do I think it's going to make much of a difference? No, I do not. Right? These guys are all treating this like a European vacation. They're eating at the great restaurants in France. They're living their greatest life possible. And they're playing with matches. And when you play with matches, my mom taught me this when I was a kid, you play with matches, you get burned. You play with matches, you get burned. It's not about the X's and O's. This is not about the X's and O's at all. Steve Kerr, as we talked about in a previous episode, is the caboose. He's not the locomotive, but maximum effort. Here's the thing that always drives you nuts with these type of stories, because maximum effort and just hustling on every play are things that require no athletic ability, but these guys have tremendous athletic ability, and yet they're choosing not to do it. USA Hoops has been very short in that department. All right, now turning the page to page 2, and we sidestep to television land, the boob tube. Post-mortem on TNT losing NBA rights to Amazon. Now, we have been told that, as we speculated in a previous episode of the show, we've been told that Charles Barkley is going to have multiple offers from ESPN, the Amazon, and possibly NBC. So which direction? Early read on the landscape. Which direction does Charles Barkley go? You are the think tank for Sir Charles. Where does he go? So Barkley can bring in Pat Sajak here out of retirement and spin the wheel of fortune, because Right off the top, I'm going to eliminate ESPN. That would not be a good marriage. They're way too woke over there at ESPN, buttoned up. Charles Barkley's not like that. And Mickey Mouse will be enjoying a bunch of scotch, whiskey, and bourbon if they had to employ Barkley as they try to commandeer Sir Charles. Amazon would be a blank slate, but Barkley doesn't seem like a streaming guy to me. If they pay you enough money, you'll be anything. I've got NBC as the wild card here because they're mostly traditional TV. I know a lot of the games are going to be on Peacock, but the smart money says if the Peacock knocks, that's where he'll go. And I heard from one of my TV friends that he has a friend who got him hired at Turner, or I guess was at Turner when they hired him, who's now at NBC. So there's a connection. So who knows? I know nothing. But we'll see where that leads. And we also have to find a gig for a friend of the show, Kevin Harlan, the great play-by-play man, Kevin Harlan, who I would assume is going to end up, because he does football on CBS, so I would assume he's going to end up at Amazon, but who knows. I met Kevin Harlan at the Super Bowl hanging out with my buddy Tony Bruno, and Harlan, he probably was lying, but he said he listens to the show. So I believed him. He was very believable. And I'm a huge fan of Kevin Harlan's work, so I hope he lands on Amazon. I think he will. I mean, he's one of the great play-by-play guys. Amazon would have to be where he goes because of the connection with CBS. All right, final point. To baseball. Baseball we go. The trade deadline is next week. We had a couple of trades. The Diamondbacks acquired a relief pitcher we've never heard of from the Marlins. The big trade, which happened on Thursday night, the Seattle baseball team. No joy in Mudville. No joy in Seattle right now. But they acquired a big postseason bat, Randy Arozarena, from your Tampa Bay Rays. He goes about as far as you can go, and unless you were playing for the Marlins. Goes from Tampa all the way across the country to the Mariners. Big trade. Well, big trade. He's having a terrible year. But currently, he's as bad as he is, he's still better than anyone in the current lineup. And so one of the other names, though, popular name, making waves, White Sox ace Garrett Crochet. And we learned he wants a new contract. Who doesn't? I would like a new contract. He wants a new contract. If he's traded, he has no desire to go to the bullpen. And the story, as it's been passed down to me, as I understand it, is he's saying, I will not pitch in the playoffs unless I get a new contract. So the question is this a deal breaker? Right? And so my answer to that is it should cause you to grab the remote control and hit the pause button. It is absolutely a deal breaker, right? Because why would you trade for the guy? He's pitched on a White Sox team, which is god-awful, right? They just suck. They're a bag of suck, the White Sox. He's never pitched in a big game. So wouldn't you, if you're a discerning team, wouldn't you want to acquire Garrett Crochet and just test him in a high-leverage, high-pressure situation and not a random White Sox-A's game on a Wednesday afternoon when there's 75 people in the crowd? It's a little different. Stakes are a little different there. Now, Crochet, let it be known that he will not be a workhorse, and the playoff thing blows me away. And it's all because of the babying of pitchers. And tell me that your arm is about to fall off without telling me. He has had a career-high workload this season. If reports are true, Garrett Crochet of the White Sox, I either get a contract or I'm not pitching in October. He's risky business. He missed all of 2022 and all of most of 2023 with Tommy John surgery. He's thrown 111 innings. That's it. I don't want to be the get off my lawn guy and tell you how many innings pitchers used to throw, but 111 and a third innings this season. He had never topped 65 innings in college or as a professional previously. So everyone's walking on eggshells. Yeah, but if you're the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Red Sox, why would you trade for the guy without watching him pitch in a big game, and then you got to pay him? But what if he doesn't play well? Then you don't pay him, and then it's a whole big mess, and then you've wasted some lottery tickets. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with that story.